Hello, today we are going to see how we can draw graphs in Origin if we have a data of the multiple samples such as the XRD of the different samples, and we want to compare them and interpret the data of the XRD. So in this case, we have to draw an overlaid graph, that is the XRD's samples graph that are overlaid on top of each other so that you can see is there is a shifting of peak or is there a new peak which is appearing in your samples. So after the first step, when you have transferred your data of the XRD, which is usually given in the form of the notepad or the Excel files, and as we know that XRD data has two columns. For every sample you have the first column, which is the x-axis. Here we have the angles that are changing from 10 to maybe like 80, 90, and then you have the y-axis where you have the intensity of the peaks of the XRD of your samples or of your samples. Then here you can see that I have transferred the data for 5 samples. This is the first sample, angle and intensity. The second sample, angle and intensity. The third samples, the fourth sample, and the fifth sample. And also you need to make sure that after transferring your data you have to set the column as y-axis. This one is the x-axis, and you have to right click it and you have to set as y-axis. So similarly you have to set this one as a y-axis, this one as a y-axis, and this one as a y-axis. So after making sure this, and also you need to label your data as well, so that once you plot the graph has labels on it and you can identify that which data is for which samples. So here I have written the 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and what I have done, and I have just double clicked this column, the y-axis, and here where you can see the short name, I have given any name. Let's suppose I have given name 1, but you can name any sample as you like, and you click OK, and here is the name of the data. Now once you have all the data that you need to plot and in the form of overlaid graph, you need to select all these columns, and then you have here some shortcuts from where you can draw different kind of graphs. This is the plain line, and this is the line in the form of dots, and then you can also have the dots connected with the line. So usually we are going for this plain line, and we just click on this, and here you see there is a plot of the XRD data, but you can see that they are overlapping with each other and you cannot see what is happening among different samples, and you cannot interpret it easily as they are masked above one another. And you can see here that the numbers are given with the colors, that which color of the line represents which samples. So this is not the ideal case that we want, and for this kind of data, when we want to see the difference of the XRD for different samples, what we do is we draw an offset graph, the y offset graph, so that we have the data separated on the y-axis so that we can see the difference. So for this purpose, what we do, we just simply go to our workbook again and we select all the data. We go to the plot, and here you see a multi-curve option. So you have different kind of options for drawing different kind of graphs. You just need to select this one, stack lines by y offset, and clicking here you get a very nice graph with the overlaid data where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 samples. Further, you can format this graph according to your requirement. You can put the label here, that is the angle, and you can put the label here, that is the intensity, and you can also zoom in or zoom out as per your requirement like this. Okay, and one thing you need to know is that here the intensity is increasing like this, but this you will not important in interpreting the data, as you can see the relative intensities of the peaks on the XRD spectrums. So that is how you will draw a graph of different data if you want to see an overlaid spectrums or overlaid data of the different samples. Thank you.